People are still digging through the data that was leaked from Insomniac Games last December, and now a new trailer from the cancelled multiplayer project Spider-Man The Great Web has leaked. I won't be showing the trailer here, but you can find several links to it in the description. The trailer opens with the narration of Yuri Lowenthal's Peter Parker with a wide panning shot of New York, later switching to still images of Spider people solving crimes and fighting Rhino, including the likes of Ben Reilly, Spider-Gwen, and Miles Morales. The game would have seen up to 5 players fighting together against the Sinister Six in different universes. It later switches to in-engine footage which doesn't look as good as the final version of Spider-Man 2, but is understandable since this was just a concept and was still being worked on. We see Miles gliding around New York, Spider-Gwen fighting bad guys, then back to Miles doing some combos before doing a superhero landing in slow-mo and showing 4 more players behind him, including the already mentioned Ben Reilly and Spider-Gwen, plus Spider-Man 2099 and Peter with a black suit. All 5 players are then shown swinging around the world, fighting bad guys doing combos together and taking on bosses such as Venom. It later presents the concept of the Great Web as you would have been able to explore the multiverse with a tuned version of New York and a noir version. The trailer ends as all 5 characters are on the top of a building and jump off heading toward a portal, out of many ones opening in front of them. Fade to black and the title reveals Spider-Man The Great Web, and the same tagline from Spider-Man 2 Be Greater Together. This would have been the live service multiplayer game that was in the works at Insomniac, described as Spider-Man meets GTA, with a Scarlet Witch tied to the story of the multiverse opening, and several Spider people coming together which were going to have a character customization option. It was recently cancelled with the team being laid off recently. The game would have included a battle pass with character-themed seasons every 3 months, plus a new story arc every month and free content. We'll never know if this would have worked, but there's a precedent of superhero multiplayer games not doing so hot recently, with Avengers, Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad. From the plans they had, there was a risk of Insomniac being overworked as well into trying to deal with both future single-player projects and live content, similar to what had Naughty Dog cancelling The Last of Us Factions. Furthermore, Sony was working on too many live services, which they have cut back now that there's more risk involved with them in terms of development and market saturation. Do you think a Spider-Man live service multiplayer game would have worked? Voice your opinion in the comments. Welcome to Hyper Games. Here are more gaming news that you need to know. Rise of the Ronin previews are now live, and they are somewhat positive, leaning to mixed. Jordan Midler from VGC said that he enjoyed his time with the game, as the epic from Team Ninja echoes beloved games like Assassin's Creed and Sekiro. Every element from the game is fine to great, with the combat emphasizing parrying and posture similar to Sekiro, with weapon switching adding depth. The drawback is that combat lacks ways to telegraph the kind of attacks you get from an enemy disrupting the flow, and resistant enemies can be frustrating. The pre-Tokyo open world looks vibrant and its setting offers diverse quests and factions, with traversal options including the glider and grappling hook. Despite the positives, the game doesn't stand out and nothing feels best in class, with character models also looking dated. Then we have Destin Legary from IGN, who indicated the game gives players a lot to dive into, impressing him with its depth and variety, blending elements from Assassin's Creed and Ninja Gaiden. Despite not living up to PlayStation's first-party open-world exclusives, Team Ninja has focused on what's important, an engaging story that has a great hook to keep you exploring. It follows the Blade twins on a quest for vengeance, offering compelling choices and impactful consequences. It also has a fun gameplay system that will keep you striving to perfect your skills, with combat that is challenging, requiring precise timing and strategy, and stealth adding another layer to it. Besides that, the open world is vast and filled with a smattering of fun activities to challenge yourself with, and minigames. Overall, he can't wait to see how it all comes out together when it launches later this month. From Push Square, Liam Croft pointed out that compared to previous Team Ninja games, Rise of the Ronin feels bigger, grander and deeper, but it's difficult to say at the moment if it's actually better. It has clear inspirations from past titles like Ninja Gaiden and Nioh, offering a more approachable experience with a scaled down difficulty. Combat mechanics remain engaging and it has expanded traversal options, but the open world setting lacks depth and graphical polish. The game's focus on relationships and cultural clashes adds intrigue, but is yet to deliver a memorable moment. Overall, the game has decent to good opening hours, but they are not hitting on the same level as other PS5 exclusives. So according to the previews, it seems expectations will be the key for this game. If you hope it to reach the same heights as a Ghost of Tsushima, for example, you may end up disappointed. But if you enjoy open world action games in general and don't care this one to be more of the same, you can have some fun when it launches this March 22nd for PS5. There's also the chance that overall impressions change once reviewers play the full game. Are you looking forward to Rise of the Ronin? What's your hype level just a couple of weeks away from launch? Tell us in the comments below. Next, Sony could be working on a new type of controller that allows you to feel the weight of items you are holding inside a game, as per a new patent that appeared online. Spotted by website 80 Level, the patent describes a controller that includes a weighted component connected to it, which is rotationally movable relative to the controller. The controller would be able to rotate this weighted component, shifting its mass in response to a trigger event and providing the user with haptic feedback. Different types of haptic feedback can be provided, including a leaning sensation when the weight is adjusted to make it feel heavier on one side, or a jerking sensation when the weight is accelerated to provide a directional impact effect. More than the typical game, this could have a great use for VR games, but again, it's just a patent, so there's no guarantee it will end up happening. Which games do you think could benefit from a device like this? Sound off in the comments. Moving on, Capcom closed their highlight set of streams this week with a few announcements regarding Monster Hunter, Street Fighter and Exoprimal. Here's the recap. As announced during the most recent Nintendo Direct, previous Monster Hunter 3DS games are getting a remaster, with Monster Hunter Stories up for PS4, Switch and PC on June 14, and its sequel Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin launching on PS4 on the same day. They will be available separately and as a bundle. Monster Hunter World, including its Iceborne release, has passed 25 million units sold, still holding to the crown of Capcom's best-selling game, while Resident Evil 4 has sold 7 million copies after 1 year of being out. As of December 31st, Resident Evil as a franchise totals 154 million units sold, followed by Monster Hunter with 97 million, and Street Fighter is third with 53 million. Speaking of that, Street Fighter 6 will be getting Akuma as the last character of the Year 1 season, arriving in spring 2024. Currently there's a Mega Man themed fighting pass, and in April there will be a crossover with Monster Hunter, allowing you to run around the battle hub in Rathalos armor and grab digital goodies. Also in April, Exoprimal gets Title Update 4, which includes a collaboration with Mega Man for its next season, with a new boss battle and Mega Man themed cosmetics. Plus the game gets 6 new beta exosuits, modules and 2 new modes, Time Loop Rebellion, a co-op challenge mode where 10 players take on a powered up final boss, and custom match for users to create their own lobbies to replay the missions and maps they want. Are you looking forward to this new content for these Capcom games? What do you think about the sales numbers for Monster Hunter and Resident Evil 4? Share with us in the comments. 2023 and the start of 2024 have been really bad for game developers, with an alarming amount of layoffs in many studios, so it's great to see the opposite story, some developers teaming up to form new studios. First up is Empty Vessel, an Austin, Texas-based independent AAA studio, formed by ex-developers from games like Doom, Quake, Call of Duty, The Last of Us, Borderlands, Tomb Raider, the Callisto Protocol and more. They will be working on an immersive shooter made with Unreal Engine 5. The second story is related to God of War 3 and Star Wars Jedi director Stig Asmussen, who left EA in September last year and has announced his new studio Giant Skull Games. Giant Skull Games will also be working on an Unreal Engine 5 game, while a single-player focused action-adventure game, which has been Asmussen's strength throughout his career. What do you think about these two new studios? Which game sounds better to you? Let us know in the comments. System Shock, the father of Bioshock, has a remake made by Night Dive Studios, which has been out since May last year on PC. It finally has a release date for consoles and will arrive almost a year later on May 21st for PS4, PS5, Xbox One and Xbox Series. This remake combines the cult gameplay from the iconic original game with all new HD visuals, updated controls, an overhauled interface, and all new sounds and music. The PC version was released with a 76 on OpenCritic with 75 reviews, and a 78 on Metacritic with 80 reviews. Most of them were positive, with a few pointing out that the game kept too many dated elements that held it back. Are you looking forward to it? Sound off in the comments. And those are the PlayStation stories for today. Let me know what you think in the comments below, give this video a thumbs up or down to let me know your feedback, check out more content you may like as well, such as Sony possibly working on more PS2 games for PS5, and subscribe for more on PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching, my name is Joseph, this is Hype for Games, and I'll see you on the next one.